guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Victoria, and as you can see by the title or the thumbnail, it's officially 1 week post-op, and I'm so excited to share with you guys my experience with the surgery so far. I have so much to say and I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I wrote out a list of things to let you guys know before I forget it, because my mind I know I'll forget it and I'll be like, oh my goodness, I didn't mention it. So I wrote a few notes down. So if you see me looking down, that's my notes. Anyways, so I want to start off by saying I originally thought I was getting the VSG surgery, which is the gastric sleeve, but when I arrived at the hospital, the doctor said I lost weight and that they would see if I was eligible for a gastric bypass. And he said, is that okay? I said yes, signed some papers, and I didn't know which surgery I was gonna get. Like I said, I was going for VSG surgery, and then after the surgery, they did tell me I got the gastric bypass. So if you're not familiar with the gastric bypass, it's a little bit more complicated than the sleeve, and the surgery time is longer. So I originally thought I was going to be in surgery for 1 to 2 hours, but I ended up being in surgery for 2 to 3 hours. They did tell me that I had to go to the hospital at least 3 to 4 hours before my surgery, just because they had to do routine tests. I did have to take a blood test as well, and they had to set up the IV and everything. I arrived at the hospital, had to do the blood work and set up the IV. It was all pretty much straightforward. They just gave me a day bed and I had to lie down. They took my blood, did some routine other tests, put the IV in, and it was about 10 a.m. when I arrived, like I said. So I didn't go into surgery until 1 p.m., 1:10 p.m. to be exact. So it wasn't really a long wait, and I just played on my phone, to be honest. I made some TikToks, did whatever, and the time just flew by. So leading up to the surgery, they did bring me into the surgery room. I remember there was a few doctors. They were all really nice, which I loved. I didn't get to meet the surgeon until that very morning, and he was nice. All of them were nice. I can't remember exactly who was in the room. I had to go on the bed. You know, I don't know if you guys ever saw a surgery room, but it has like huge like lights or something looking down at you. You go, you lie on the bed, and obviously you're gonna be under. So they put like an oxygen mask on you. They tell you to take deep breaths. And I can remember taking the deep breaths, and I remember the last thing the surgeon said to me, and he was like, take one more deep breath and then you'll be asleep. And honestly, I was asleep after that. I don't remember anything after he said that because I was asleep. Then I remember just waking up from my surgery. I was in the day waiting room, and I remember I was so groggy. I felt like I was in pain, but it wasn't like severe pain. I've seen a lot of videos where people were like, the surgery was the worst pain ever and they're so hurt from the surgery, but honestly it wasn't too bad for me, which was good. So I was just lying in the bed. I was completely pretty much out of it, and so I looked at the clock. It was about 5 p.m. So I don't know if I was in surgery the whole time or if that's just when I fully woke up from the anesthesia, but I do know the surgery is typically 2 to 3 hours, but I woke up around 5-ish or just after 5, and I was just, like I said, I was out of it, and I just wanted so badly to lie on my left side. I don't know why, but I really wanted to lie on my left side because that was like the least amount of pain that I was in, I guess. like I said, the pain level wasn't too high. It was just very uncomfortable. And so I remember asking the nurse or doctor, whoever the guy was there. He was really nice. I kept asking him, can I lie on my left side? Can I lie on my left side? And he's like, oh no, sweetie, just wait, because you're gonna have another doctor or nurse come and look at you, and we want to make sure everything's okay before you start getting a little bit more comfortable with how you're lying. So I just remember the pain wasn't too bad, but I just felt like uncomfortable. So a few hours I think passed by, then they actually found a room for me. So I went into my room that I'd stay overnight, and then the nurse that was there, I asked her, can I lie on my side? And she said, oh yeah, you're doing great. You can lie however you want. Just get comfortable now. And the moment I lied on my side, on my left side, I felt so much better. I don't know what it's about. To be honest, I tried to Google it, and it says that like that's where your stomach is and everything. So I think you get less acid reflux or whatever. So I felt more comfortable on that side. So I did lie on that side. I don't know the science behind it because I'm not a doctor, but I felt relieved to lie on my left side. So after that, a few hours went by again. It was like around 7 p.m. I started lying on my side. I had enough energy to check my phone. I had a missed call from my mom. So I called her back and I told her, Mom, I'm okay. I did not want anyone in the hospital with me because I feel like people are more nervous for you than you're nervous for yourself. So I felt completely just normal being alone, and I was comfortable. And I know my mom and my brother and my sister, and they're nervous because it's a surgery, but ultimately I did my research and I knew that it wasn't going to be like a hard surgery. It is laparoscopically, so it's not like something that you have to really stress about. So I decided to go by myself because I didn't want that added extra stress or pressure. So anyways, I called my mom and she's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? What's going on? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I feel great. Well, at the time I didn't say I feel great. I said I feel okay. I'm just in pain. And honestly, I said I'll call you tomorrow. I'm doing okay. I'm just in pain. I don't really want to talk. She's like, okay, I'll let everyone know you're okay. And I was like, okay, great, bye. And then there's not much really I remember between the hours, but I do know I fell asleep a lot, which is normal because the anesthesia, I guess, is coming out of your body. I don't know. So I did end up falling asleep a lot. And I remember I was asking the nurse that was there, I kept asking her to put like medication in my IV bag. I'm not sure what they put some kind of painkiller in the IV. So every 4 hours I was asking her, can you put more pain medication in my IV? And she's like, oh yeah, okay, it's been a while, you can have it. And so every 4 hours until I guess the next morning I kept asking for it. I don't remember waking up, honestly. I felt like I slept great. The next I woke up, it was the next morning, 7 a.m. in the morning, and I was feeling pretty good. I wasn't feeling bad. I was feeling a little bit of pain. So I asked the nurse, can I get more pain medication? And she's like, oh, no, you had too much. And I was like, oh, okay. So she's like, but I can give you Gravol in your IV bag and that will make you feel better. So I was like, oh, okay, sure, that's good because it's like a vitamin. It's not pain medication. But it does help you with nausea or upset stomach. So as soon as I took the Gravol, I felt 100% better. I was feeling so good. I was like, okay. And I see a lot of videos saying that the nurses force them to walk around and get the gas pain out of their stomach and everything. And honestly, no one made me walk around, which I am extremely happy about that because I feel like I healed a little bit better, faster, because I wasn't forced to walk around or anything, so I did end up just lying around until I kind of felt better. And this was the next day, so it was February the 22nd. So after that, like I said, I was feeling better. The nurses kept checking on me. They were like, do you have any nausea? Do you have any pain? Upset stomach? Did you throw up? Did you have a bowel movement? All of those questions. And I'm just like, no bowel movement. I feel great. No nausea, no sickness, nothing. They did actually let me drink a lot of water between the night before and this morning. So I was keeping water down and everything. So they're like, oh my gosh, you're doing amazing and that you can be released today. And I was like, wow. I expected to stay 1 to 2 days in the hospital. So when they're like, oh, you can leave, and I was like, oh, like I felt like it was too fast, but honestly I was feeling pretty much like okay. I wasn't having any pain. I seen some people talking about incision pains or just upset stomach or gas pain, and honestly I wasn't feeling much of any of those things. I was feeling pretty much tip-top. They did release me that following night, so I only spent 1 night in the hospital. Okay, so I kind of already covered it a bit already. So I wasn't in much pain. I've seen some videos or heard some stories where people were like the pain was 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10, the most pain they felt in their life. And I feel bad for them because I was in zero pain. I don't want to say zero, but I'll give you the exact number. So I was maybe two, possibly a 3 on a scale of pain level. So it was really, really low. And I feel like my pain wasn't the incisions or anything like that. The pain was kind of not even pain, it was just discomfort. And the discomfort was just from the gas that they pump into your stomach. So I was feeling just like bloated kind of feeling. So it wasn't like a pain, it was just discomfort. So I would say it was a 2. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the worst thing in my life. It just felt like period cramps, to be honest. And I know like a lot of people like have bad periods and I personally don't. So to me it just felt like just regular period cramps, just uncomfortable. You have the bloating and everything. And if you're a guy watching, I guess I can explain it this way. It feels like if you didn't pee for like a few hours, that buildup that you have, where it's like just discomfort and you want to go to the washroom and it's just your stomach starts to hurt, but you didn't go to the washroom. So it feels kind of like that, but like if you didn't go to the washroom for 3 days. So it's a buildup in your stomach. Like it's a little bit like of discomfort, but it's like that's just the feeling. Like I didn't have to pee or anything. It was just like a buildup around that area in my stomach, and I felt like pressure, but it wasn't like extremely painful or anything. Just like I said, discomfort. I do recommend the surgery for anyone who's interested in having the surgery. I've seen so many videos that honestly scared me to get the surgery because a lot of people are saying the pain was unbearable, and honestly you can't take that too much into your mind because I did it as well and I thought the pain was going to be excruciating, but honestly the pain is to each their own. Like it's not going to be something that everyone's going to experience 8 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 experience, or like me, you might not necessarily get a 2 out of 10 pain level. So I do recommend the surgery, but also don't be scared to get it because if you see that people are in a lot of pain, it is really up to your body how much pain you are in. And just a side note, I feel like I wasn't in so much pain because for one, like I said, the doctors didn't force me to walk around. So I was actually in bed for that whole time since I was in the hospital. Since I went to surgery and then they released me the next day, I was in bed except when I had to go to the washroom. And I don't think the nurse really knew, because she was like, oh, did you go for a walk? And I was like, yeah. But in my head, I meant, yeah, walk to the washroom. And there was actually a washroom inside the room. So from my bed, it was like maybe less than 10 steps away. So for me, I considered that walking. So I just told her, yeah, I went for a walk. And she's like, oh, great. So that's one thing I would recommend. Do not force yourself to walk because they say to walk. I know that might be bad advice because of blood clot reasons. People are more concerned about a blood clot forming, but I did have compression socks on, and they said because of my health in the past, I wasn't prone to having a blood clot. So you really have to monitor how that will be. And yes, if you're prone, I would say walk, but I wasn't prone, so I didn't walk. I just literally went to the washroom and that was it. I just laid down, slept like crazy, and that was pretty much it. The second thing I recommend as well is to follow your liquid diet to the T, and also follow whatever your doctor or surgeon says before the surgery. I cannot stress that enough. I think this is another reason why I didn't have much pain, is because I followed whatever the doctor said. I was so strict. I had just OptiFast on my liquid diet, so the doctor told me I can have a liquid diet for 1 week before my surgery, and they said, oh, you can have soup, broth, you can have broth, you can have jello and all that stuff, just pure liquids. But honestly, I just had the OptiFast. I didn't have anything else. I think maybe that helped a little bit. I didn't cheat on the OptiFast diet, which I saw some people cheated on the diet, and then after their surgery, they're like, oh, they're in so much pain. Well, it's kind of obvious that's maybe why you're in pain, either because your body doesn't handle pain well, or because you did not listen to the doctor. So that is another reason I would say people are in more pain. So just follow your doctor's advice, drink just liquids or gel or whatever they tell you to do. Do not cheat on your OptiFast diet or your liquid diet before your surgery. Also, I didn't drink anything for like 8 hours before my surgery or longer. They said I could drink 4 hours before the surgery, something like that, just water. I didn't end up drinking anything except for the little bit of water they gave me with the nausea pill I took before my surgery, and that was about it. I was thirsty, but I was like, okay, let me just whatever, because the surgery is coming up, and you're not really supposed to have water in your stomach as well. So I just skipped the water, had the surgery, and that was pretty much it. I'm sure you guys are wondering about my scars, and my scars from the surgery or the incisions are pretty good. They're actually not bad at all. I'm not sure if it's gonna leave a scar or if it's just like gonna heal over. Even if it leaves a scar, I'm not too worried about that anyways. Like I said, I didn't have any incision pains, which some people have, so my incisions just, I guess, felt like butter. I didn't feel anything. I just felt, like I said, a little bit of discomfort in my stomach, but no scar pain. So I'll show you guys my stomach so you guys can see the scars, and honestly, they're not like very bad, but if you're gonna be grossed out, skip this part. Honestly, I'm not sure if you guys saw any scarring. I will have to see when I watch this over to see if you guys can actually see them. My skin doesn't pick up scars that well, which is really good. That's good, because that means not a lot of people will see them anyways. They're healing well, no pain, nothing. I just feel a little bit of stomach things, but it's like if you had a gurgly stomach, kind of like that. So no pain or anything, which is good. So it's 1 week post-op, like I mentioned, so I am still on a liquid diet for another week, and then I move on to puree foods. The last thing I want to talk about is hunger. So I saw a few people who had the surgery and they said they felt hunger. So I just want to mention, in case anyone's wondering, with my personal experience, I don't feel any hunger or any cravings or anything. Again, I'm only 1 week post-op, so I know I'll start to feel hungry eventually. I actually Googled it. It said I could have loss of appetite for 7 months. I don't know how true that is, obviously, because I'm only 1 week post-op, but so far I have suppressed appetite. I don't feel hungry. I don't feel the need to eat anything. I know a lot of us who have the surgery or have gone through anything basically where they have to lose weight or something. As humans, we kind of have those hungry eyes. So even when I see my mom or anyone in my family, they're eating food, I don't feel like eating what they're eating, or I don't feel like eating at all, kind of. Like, I'm sure, hopefully, some of you guys know what I'm talking about of loss of appetite. It's just like you just don't feel anything, if that makes sense. So during this week, my family has had KFC, McDonald's, and I just feel like these are foods I usually eat before the surgery, and I just feel like it smells good, but I don't feel a need or a craving to eat those foods as well, which is really, really amazing, because I did not expect this level of resistance basically after the surgery. Because like I said, I've seen some videos where people were like, oh, I'm hungry, oh, my family's eating this, so I want to eat it too. And I thought, oh my gosh, this mental battle is going to be super hard. But turns out I'm on the good side of everything. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm super, super thankful that my surgery has gone so great so far. With that being said, I will see you guys in the new video. Do not forget to like this video, subscribe down below, turn on those post notifications so you can be notified when I do post a new video. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.